Every single day, we touch our phone screens hundreds of times, sending thousands of invisible signals flying across the planet. And if you open any school textbook, history will instantly hand you a comforting answer: Alexander Graham Bell. They always show you the same iconic portrait, a sweet, grandfatherly man with a majestic white beard staring gently into the camera, a pure, selfless scientist who wired the world out of sheer benevolence. It is a beautiful, inspiring, and completely sanitized image. But if you dust off the court archives of the late 19th century, you will find a reality that is far more fascinating. The birth of global communication wasn't a peaceful science fair, it was an all-out corporate espionage thriller. We are talking about a midnight race against a ticking clock, a heavily indebted alcoholic government clerk, and a dirty $100 bribe. Today, we aren't here to tear down a Venian. We are here to look at the real Alexander Graham Bell, a generational visionary, but also a ruthless corporate gladiator who understood that in the world of geniuses, being second best means being completely erased from history.
To understand the cutthroat nature of this era, you have to look at the single most valuable piece of paper in modern history, U.S. Patent number 174465. This document practically turned Bell into a living god and created a monopoly worth billions. But his entire legacy was decided by a margin of time so narrow it borders on absolute madness. The date was February 14th, 1876, Valentine's Day, but inside the Washington Patent Office there was no room for romance. Early that morning, a brilliant independent inventor named Elisha Gray walked into the office to file a patent caveat. It was a legal shield protecting his secret design for a revolutionary telephone that used a liquid transmitter to carry human speech. It was an absolute masterpiece of engineering. But exactly 2 hours later, Alexander Graham Bell's high-priced lawyers rushed into the exact same office. They didn't just file a warning. They slammed down a completed, ironclad patent application for a technology with the exact same purpose. 2 hours. In the race to wire the planet, a mere 120 minutes was the line between eternal glory and becoming a forgotten footnote. The scientific community went wild with suspicion. Skeptics argued that for two independent minds to unlock the exact same complex code on the exact same morning was a mathematical anomaly. Was Bell a copycat who caught a lucky break, or a master strategist who simply out-hustled the entire world at the final second?
Gray's original design was pure genius. He realized that your voice could hit a flexible diaphragm, vibrating a metal needle inside a cup of acid and mercury. This movement altered the electrical resistance, translating human speech into electricity. It was quite literally a biological USB cable built by hand. But 10 years after that fateful morning, a massive ghost stepped out of the shadows. Zenas Wilber, the actual patent examiner who reviewed both files, signed a shocking confession. Wilber admitted that during his time in office, he was a severe alcoholic drowning in debt. He confessed that under heavy financial pressure, he broke the law. He illegally showed Gray's secret liquid transmitter designs straight to Bell. And the ultimate kicker? He swore under oath that Bell personally walked into his office and left a crisp $100 bill sitting right on his desk. So, does this make Bell a total fraud? Absolutely not. History demands a nuanced brain. The hard reality is that Bell did use Gray's liquid concept for his famous first test, the iconic "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." But Bell quickly realized the liquid design was a commercial dead end. It was messy and unstable, so he abandoned it completely. Instead, Bell engineered a dry electromagnetic induction system that actually worked across thousands of miles. Gray wrote a beautiful concept on paper, but Bell built the actual global matrix. He understood that an idea is completely useless until it actually rings in reality.
Once the patent was locked down, the real war began. Bell didn't just sit back and watch the cash flow, he had to defend his empire like a warlord. Over the next 2 decades, rival inventors and giant corporations like Western Union tried to crush him from every angle. Bell faced over 600 separate legal challenges. Think about that number, 600 lawsuits. It was a massive, non-stop legal DDoS attack. His competitors tried to crash his business every single day, dragging him all the way to the Supreme Court, accusing him of perjury and theft. But Bell's legal team was an elite firewall. Weaponizing that original Valentine's Day patent, they struck down every single lawsuit, one by one. Bell bought out his competitors and transformed his startup into AT&T, the ultimate telecommunications monopoly. He proved that in the arena of capitalism, owning the infrastructure is way more important than just inventing the machine.
But Bell's dark contrast does not stop in the courtroom. To truly understand him, you have to look past the corporate warfare and examine his deepest, most tragic obsession, the world of absolute silence. Bell didn't care about machinery at first. He was a teacher for deaf children. His father invented phonetic symbols, but more importantly, both Bell's beloved mother and his wife were profoundly deaf. Sound was the language of his family. It was how he expressed love. Because he loved them so deeply, he became obsessively terrified of their condition. He wanted to cure deafness, to force every deaf person into the hearing world. And that obsession led him into dark, dangerous territory. In 1883, Bell published a terrifying paper, warning that if deaf people kept marrying each other, they would create a separate, defective, deaf variety of the human race. Blinded by eugenics, the ultimate flawed science of his time, Bell used his massive wealth to aggressively crush sign language. He banned it from schools, forcing deaf children to read lips and vocalize, effectively destroying their natural culture. It was a cultural blue screen of death for the deaf community that lasted for decades. A heartbreaking paradox. The man who wired the planet for sound accidentally disconnected an entire community out of a misguided desire to save them.
Yet you cannot define a giant solely by his shadows. Bell's mind was a hyperactive engine that never stopped. When the US president was shot in 1881, Bell stayed up for days and invented the world's very first electromagnetic metal detector to find the bullet. He built hydrofoil boats that broke world speed records, funded early aviation, and mentored Helen Keller. He literally predicted fibre optics and global warming a century before they happened. Alexander Graham Bell was not a textbook saint, and he wasn't a cartoon villain. He was a generational titan. He fought over 600 lawsuits to protect his crown, but his real victory wasn't legal. It was the fact that he took a silent world and gave it a voice. On August 2nd, 1922, Bell died. The United States and Canada gave him the ultimate bone-chilling tribute. For one consecutive minute, every single telephone across North America went completely dead. 1 minute. No dials, no ringing, no voices. Absolute, terrifying silence. For 60 seconds, millions of people sat in the dark, realizing that without this one complex genius, their entire reality would be permanently muted. He lost his battles with controversy, but he won eternity. Now, if you don't want the brutal laws of natural selection to permanently disconnect your brain, go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now. Keep your mind moving, adapting, and outplaying the old rules. Let us know in the comments which mad genius we should expose next. Thanks for watching, and we'll